Good evening and welcome to this executive meeting of Burnley Borough Council on the 20th of April 2021. Executive members in attendance are Councillor Mark Townsend, Leader of the Council, Councillor Leanne Pate, Deputy Leader and Executive Member for Health and Wellbeing, Councillor Afisia Anwar, Executive Member for Community and Environment, Councillor Sue Graham, Executive Member for Resources, Councillor John Harbour, Executive Member for Housing, and Councillor Asif Raja, Executive Member for Economy and Growth. Also in attendance are Councillors Andy Fewings, Councillor Margaret Lishman, Councillor Alan Hosker, and Councillor Cosima Townley. Officers present are Mick Cartledge, Chief Executive, Lukman Patel, Chief Operating Officer, Catherine Warby, Head of Legal and Democratic Services, Howard Hamilton-Smith, Head of Finance and Property, Simon Goff, Head of Green Spaces and Amenities, Eric Dickinson, Democracy Officer. The meeting is being streamed by Mark Hyman. Thank you, Chair. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you and welcome to this evening's meeting of the Executive of the 20th of April 2021. Item number 1 on the agenda is apologies. All exec members are in attendance tonight, so no apologies have been received. Item number 2, minutes of the previous meeting of Tuesday the 23rd of March. I will move those minutes. Councillor Pate, can you please second those minutes?
Second them, Chair.
Thank you very much. I will take silence as agreement of those minutes. Thank you. Those minutes are approved. Item number 3 on the agenda is the noting of individual executive member decisions of the 25th of March 21. Minute 5, Beat the Streets, and minute 6, Sale of Residential Freehold at Holbeck Park, Burnley. Both decisions are duly noted. Item number 4. Are there any additional items of business?
None received, Chair.
Thank you very much, Eric. Item number 5. Are there any declarations of interest? No, thank you. Item number 6, exclusion of the public. Can somebody just move as per the agenda, please? Thank you, Councillor Graham. Thank you. Item number 7, right to speak. Have any right to speak requests been received?
Not received, Chair.
Thank you very much, Eric. So straight on to item number 8, the Climate Change Working Group, Woodlands and Commemorative Trees. I'm going to ask Councillor Fewings if he'll please introduce this report as Chair of the Climate Change Working Group. Andy, over to you.
Chair, apologies, it's Chris Gay. We're having some problems with Councillor Fewings. If you just bear with me, I'll try and get back to the meeting. I wonder whether it'd be possible to take the next item.
Will do. I think that's probably a good idea. So we'll move on to item number 9 on the agenda, just whilst we're sorting the technology out. Regulation of the Investigatory Powers Act, RIPA, the corporate policy. Catherine, can you please introduce this item?
Yes, thank you, Chair. The report attaches the updated corporate policy for covert surveillance and covert human intelligence sources made under the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act of 2000. And the policy was considered by the Audit and Standards Committee on the 24th of March. And they endorsed the policy and recommended that the executive approve it. The changes are as set out in paragraph 6 of the report and as marked up in the attached policy. I just want to raise one additional item, and that's since the report was prepared, was noted that the policy should include a non-RIPA cancellation form to mirror the process in standard RIPA cases. The form has been created, so in addition to the recommendations set out in the report, there is a further recommendation, which is to delegate to the Chief Operating Officer authority to add the form to the policy and to make any reference to the form in the policy where necessary. Thank you. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Catherine. Members? Councillor Graham?
Thank you, Chair. The report, as Catherine said, has been through Audit and Standards Committee and has been consulted upon. It's a review of existing policy, and I've nothing further to add to the report. So can I move it, please, as amended? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member? No. Okay. Well, I will second that report as amended. And as no other member has indicated to speak, I will take silence as acceptance of that report. Thank you. That report is accepted. So I'm going to go back to item number 8 on the agenda now. I don't know, Chris, can you indicate are we ready to take this item?
Yes, Chair. Councillor Fewings is now in the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Right, so we'll go to item number 8, Climate Change Working Group, Woodlands and Commemorative Trees. And as an introduction to the report, we'll take the chair of the working group, Councillor Andy Fewings. Please go ahead, Andy.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm not going to take too much of anybody's time here. I'm sure you've all had a chance to read the report, which I'm grateful for the officers preparing it. Essentially, you know, as part of the Climate Emergency Working Group, we've been looking at various things that the money can be spent on to bring forward a proposal. And it was sort of a unanimous decision of the group to put forward the £15,000 for the woodland planting, which is something that many other authorities in Lancashire have already committed to doing. And obviously, with the caveat that we're asking the organisation to ensure that, you know, this does have a direct benefit to the borough. And obviously, I'm sure no one needs me to explain why planting trees is good for the climate emergency. So that's the first element of the report. And then the second element really is we were having a discussion about how, you know, this has been a really tough year. The Climate Emergency Working Group has obviously struggled to meet because of all the calls of capacity on officers and as a result of the pandemic. And so we thought it would be a really nice thing to do to sort of link the two issues really, which are two of the biggest issues of the day, to have some commemorative trees that could be planted in parks and to give people that may not have been able to give the send off to loved ones that they wanted to somewhere to go and remember this year and pay their respects and be able to, you know, grieve in a way that they might not have felt they were able to do at the height of the pandemic. So we've also got the allocation there and the recommendation of 3,000 to pay for that. So if you have any questions, then feel free, but otherwise I think it's self-explanatory.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fewings. Right, I'll open it up to to members. Members, Councillor Graham.
Thank you, Chair. I'm also a member of the Climate Change Working Group, and as Councillor Fewings said, these proposals were accepted unanimously and with strong support. So I'm particularly keen on the commemorative tree scheme because those trees, the cherry trees, will be in bloom in March, April every year and will, if you like, commemorate the start of lockdown and allow people to remember the 300 plus Burnley residents that have lost their lives. So happy to support this. I would move the report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Graham. I've got Councillor Harbour and then Councillor Peart. Councillor Harbour.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'd just like to echo what my colleagues have said regarding the commemorative trees in all the 6 parks and the fact that we're going to be working with friends groups in the parks as well. I actually think that's a wonderful idea, and I'm really pleased that the group's come up with that. But can I just also remind colleagues as well, Chair, that this idea of a climate emergency and planting trees, we've got to remember that this Borough Council, back in the millennium, have planted over 1 million trees for this borough. So it's not something new. We've got a proud record of planting trees, and hopefully we will go on doing that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Harbour. Councillor Pate.
Thank you. Just like to welcome the report, and I'd also like to second that report.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other members waiting to speak. So I too welcome the report. I think it's a good, excellent piece of work and a start in terms of what we hope will be numbers of recommendations into the future from the Climate Change Working Group, into basically signalling to the rest of the borough how we should be really moving forward to address the climate emergency that we all know that we're facing. So thank you for that. We'll move to the vote. I will take silence as acceptance of the report. Thank you. That report is accepted, and that concludes the business for the agenda this evening. Just before finishing, I just do want to say one thing. As colleagues know, I am going on to other things after this meeting. This is, I was doing a quick tot up today. This is I think the 55th meeting of the executive I've chaired since 2014. Let's just say it's been a roller coaster over that period of time. Certainly many ups and downs, but I will say more highs than lows. But throughout all that time, I've been blessed to have some really good officers around me and some excellent executive members throughout that time. So I'd like to thank all colleagues for all the support over these last few years. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be a critical backbencher after my year as mayor. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Be a new, fresh lease of life. But just put on record my thanks to everybody, and I wish everybody every success. And my successor, whoever that happens to be in a few weeks' time, I wish them all the luck in the world and all the best in doing their best to move the borough forward. Thank you, everybody. And
Thank you.
I will, on that basis,
Thank you.
I will close the meeting. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.